Hi class. Today we're gonna start to work on chapter 2. We're talking about functions, meaning, notation, and graphing. In this chapter, we will work on price, demand, graph of a function, and how to draw the graph of a function. So let's start with section 2.1, price and demand. Okay, so let's do an introductory example. Um, so the gas tank holds 12 gallons, but right now you are running on empty. So as you pull into the gas station, the engine sputter and dies. The gas tank is completely empty, and then you pump 12 gallons into the tank and swipe the credit card. How much does this cost? So this problem is say that it depends on the price of the gas, right? But exactly how does it depend on the price? So say if you go to a gas station and the price per gallon is $3.40. What is the cost of the cost to fuel the tanks? So you know that it should be say cost will be equal to 3.40. You're gonna multiply by 12 because you are having uh, you are having 12 gallons. So that's the reason why you need to multiply by 12, and that's gonna give you use a calculator, and you have 40.80. So 40.80. And uh, if the price per gallon now change to be 4.1, so then what? So then I'm gonna say cost now. I'm gonna change to be 4.1 times with 12, and that will give you 49.20. So 49. Okay. So as we move to the next page. Okay, so the next page is talking about uh, how to symbolic form the function. Um, so instead of writing down like cost equal to 12 gallon multiplied by the price, right? So in uh, in the previous lecture, I using something like C equal to 12 times P, right? But since we are trying to make it like a symbolic form of the function. So, so I'm gonna rewrite it as Kp equal to 12p. Remember that this little p here is mean that input. Okay, so p in here is input, and then k of p is output. All right, so don't confuse with multiplication in here. It's uh, actually mean that it's cost in the case at input is p in here. Okay, so this is a read as the cost kp to fill the tank is a function of the price p per gallon. Right, it is a function of the price. So okay. So now for written form, uh, the cost of filling the tank at the price 3.40 per gallon is 40.80. You know it from the result of the previous columns. So how can I symbolic form? I just have K of, now what is the price? The price become 3.40. So I put the input at 3.40. Okay, so this is P, right? And that's going to be equal to 40.80 dollars. Okay, so that is a way to symbolic form when you see the specific value of the variable, all right, or of the input actually. Okay, now let's move down to the next page. So we're gonna practice translating statement between symbolic form and function notation. Okay, so here's the first example from the gas tank situation. So for the word, it says at the price of $2 per gallon, it costs $24 to fill the tank. So I'm gonna write the symbolic form as K of, now input become 2, right? So 2 equal to, now output, what is that? 24. So $24. Okay, because K is a function of the cost, to fill the tank. So now the cost to fill a 12-gallon tank at the price P dollar per gallon is 12 times P. Okay, so what I should do now, I still have to have K of, what is input now? The price is P. So this is input. So I still have to put P. Maybe I'm gonna change the other color. So still is P because we just given P as a price right now. And that's gonna be equal to 12 times P. Okay, 12 times P. Okay, so that exactly the function of the cost. Okay, so now let me move down. And here, what is the price per gallon if it costs $45 to fill the tank? Okay, so for the symbolic form, in here we actually don't know the input because they just asking us about what is the price. So so I still have to, so I'm gonna put like K of P because you don't know the input yet, right? And then equal to $45, which is output, right? So you make it equal each other, but you know that K of P equal to tell P from the function. So then I can substitute this KP to become 12P here. And then I have the an equation with respect to P that's left hand side equal to 12P and the right hand side equal to 45. And then we're gonna solve it for having P later. Okay, let's do it. So clean this up and move down. Okay. So in this page, they want us to evaluate the function, right? So the first question is evaluate the function kp equal to 12p at p equal to 3.5. So what I should do is I know that the input now become 3.5. So I just plug back it into p here. So I will get the answer. Okay. So now I'm gonna say plug p equal to 3.5 into the expression of p, and given input p equal to 3.5, determine the output. Okay, so I have k of 3.5, which is input, equal to 12 times 3.5, and that equal to 42, which is the answer. Okay, similarly, let's do one example here. I have k k of p equal to 12p, but at p equal to 4. So that's going to be 4 is input equal to 12 times with 4. I actually going to use parentheses better. Okay, with 4. And then that's going to be equal to $48. So I would like to let you guys do this problem. You do it. Okay. But for the k of p plus 1, and they're asking us what is that going to be? Okay. If you want to spend about like 5 minutes to work on that, pause my video and then work on that, and let's compare with me after you finish. Okay, so now let me solve this one. Remember that P of 1 in here is actually mean that this is input. Okay, so whatever the input gonna be, then you're gonna change all the P from the original function gonna be the input. So now I'm gonna have, it was P here, but now it's gonna change become P plus 1, right? Because now the input is P plus 1 instead of P. Okay, so if you want to do distribution, you're gonna have 12P plus 12. Right? You still have, you still confused with this? Please get into my Zoom and talk to me about that. Okay, I'm gonna give you more example so you can know this. Okay, let's move to the next page. Okay, so this one, asking us to solve an equation. Okay, so how to solve an equation? The question in here is given a cost KP and say KP equal to $45, and they want us to find price P, and week cost is $45. So week value of P, can you plug into the expression 12P? You don't know, right? Because in here they don't give you the value of P at all. They actually asking you what is P. Okay, so so that you don't know, and it still is KP will be equal to 12P, right? And you're gonna substitute this KP into here to get this equation. And now, given the output KP equal to 45 degrees, what is input P, right? And let's solve this. You know, to solve it, you're just gonna divide by 12, both hand side. Why? Because this 12 multiplied by P, and you wanna solve for P, so you have to divide by 12. And so we're gonna have P will be equal to 45 divided by 12, that's gonna equal to $3.75. And what does that mean? It means that if the cost to fill the tank is $45, so totally like $45 to pay for 12 gallons, right? So then the price per gallon will be $3.75. Okay, so let's move to the next page. So it is units of the measurement, some units of the measurement. So I have like the price of gas, which symbol of unit is usually is P in dollars per gallon. Say example, let me see, let me make an example. Actually, you know what? Because in here, according to how many here, $3.75 per gallon. That means that I will have P maybe equal to 3.75. Okay. And the cost of the gas, which is KP, and it is in dollars. So, so it's going to say K P equal to $50. And okay, and now for the TV demand, I have X in 1000 TV. So I say X in here I saw that it is 50,000. So remember that's X is in 1,000 units. So I'm gonna say it is X gonna equal to 50, right? Because unit is in thousand, so you multiply by 1,000, then you get 50,000. Okay, so I'm gonna try if X equal to say 0.5, then how many TV do I have? I'm gonna multiply by 1,000, so I have 500 TVs. And now if how many here is 43,000, then X has to be equal to 43. Okay, so let's move to the next page. So this page is talk about the definition of the function. Okay, so the definition of the function in addition is a function is a rule that's produced a correspondence between two sets such that each element in the first set corresponds to exactly one element in the second set. Okay, so let's see if we have some example down here. So, for the example, electricity cost. Edcon Power Company charges is residential customer $40 per month plus 0.1 per kilowatt hours of electricity used. Thus, the month cost for electric is a function of the number of kilowatt used. In symbols, let K be the number of kilowatt used in a month, and EK be the monthly cost for electricity in dollar. Okay, so they did notate first. Yeah, so the question is, what are the units of the measurement for K and for EK? Okay, so for K, the units for K will be what? K in here is the number of kilowatts. So I'm gonna say kilowatts used in a month, right? Okay, so I would say kilowatts, yeah. And maybe I'm gonna say kilowatt per month, better. Yeah, per month. And for EK, I'm gonna say be the monthly cost for actually in dollars. So I'm gonna say the dollar per month. Right? Why I just say the dollars is enough because this is like a monthly cost. So I don't even have to say month in here. Okay. Now Write the symbolic form for the statement. The monthly cost for using 800 kilowatts of electricity is $94. Okay, so so we have E of 800 will be equal to 4. Okay, so E of 800 will be equal to $94. Right? Because in here, we should know that K is a kilowatts, and then $94 is the outcome. So, okay, next question. Write the symbolic statement E660 equal to 80 in word. So I'm gonna say, yeah, it's actually in inverse way, right? You can take a look at this statement to write. So it's gonna be the monthly cost for using 660 kilowatt hours of electricity is $80. Okay, so let's go down a little bit to see. Okay, and then the last one is maybe I'm gonna say this for you to take a look at that. A bit here. Oh, I can't. Okay. Not easy at all. Okay, so so you may take a look at that, and then I'm gonna delete now. Pause to see, right? So now the question is, write the symbolic form for statement. The monthly cost for using K kilowatts is $100. So remember that's in here. K is still unknown. Okay, so I have E of what? Okay, equal to $100. So that is symbolic form for this statement. Next, let's move to the next page. So now we have formula for the electricity cost as a function of kilowatt hours. Is down here. EK equal to 14 plus 0.1 K. Okay. And then you're gonna say why it is 14. Okay. You maybe have to remember about the fixed cost, right? You know that 14 is the cost that you have to pay at first, right? You cannot change it. You maybe I gotta move up a little bit so that you can see it from the question. So over here, you see that every month the company charge $14, right? So this never change. But is plus 0.1 per kilowatt. That means this amount is changing depend on the kilowatt hours, right? So then this one, the 0.1 is the one is changing. Okay, let's see. So so now why 0.1? Okay, we also this called the variable cost. Remember last time we also learned about the variable cost is V, right? It is F, right? And what is K? Okay, so K is actually is a variable and it's present for the kilowatts used in month, right? So I'm gonna write it down. It's kilowatt used in a month. Okay. So so I'm gonna say fixture to our custom. And next one is the next one is cost cost per kilowatts used. Okay. Okay. And then lastly, you know that's the total cost will be smaller. Right here. So you should know that the total cost should be fixed cost plus the variable cost times K. And you can rewrite as for 14 plus 0.1 to 0.1. Okay. Okay, so let's we move down to the next page. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use my simple pen instead of using this. So for the electric cost, now let me use my silver pen here. For the electric cost, with the equation EK equal to 14 plus 0.1 K. If the customer use 200 kilowatts, find the cost. So in here, you actually given the input K equal to 200 kilowatts, right? So I'm gonna substitute into the function. So I have E of K now become 200, right? So I put input is 200 equal to 14.00 and plus with 0.10, and I multiply by K. Now K is input equal to 200. So use a calculator and the answer has to be equal to 34. So 34 E of 200 equal to 34. And to summarize here, you may gonna say the if the customer use 200 kilowatt hours, the cost will be $34 per month, monthly. Right? Now we done with this page. Let's move down. How many kilowatt can be used if the monthly cost is $55? In this case, we know the cost, but we don't know K again, right? So I'm gonna use the equation EK equal to 55, and I replace EK with the formula we get. So remember that the formula was EK equal to 14 plus 0.1 K, right? So then now I'm gonna replacing the E, and I have this one, right? And 14 plus 0.1 K, and then I make it equal to 55. Now I'm gonna solve it for K. So let me rewrite it. 1K to 55, 0, 0. So in order to solve this problem, I have to subtract 14 first, both inside. And I'm going to have what? 0.1 K equal to 55 minus 14 gonna be this 1 and this 4, 41. And then you because you are having 0.1 bugging you, so you divide by 0.1 both inside. Now the K will be 410, and the unit has to be kilowatt hours. So summarize. I'll say if the monthly cost, I may have to delete this. $55, then then 410 kilowatt hours can be used. Okay. So that should be the answer. We can move to the next page. So electricity cost. They're giving us the equation again, and they want us to translate each problem into symbolic form, solve, and write the summary. So what is monthly cost for using 600 kilowatts? So we know that it's given K equal to 600. Yeah? So I can plug in and have E of 600 equal to 14 plus 0.10 times with 600. Right. Now input is k, now becomes 600. So I change all the k becomes 600. And that will give you is 600 will be equal to what? Use a calculator and you should have 74. And how many kilowatt hours can be used in monthly cost is $50. So then what? Now they given you the output E of K, because you don't know K equal to 50, right? So you also know that E of K equal to this equation. So I will substitute EK equal to 14 plus 0.1 K, and I will have 14 plus 0.1 plus 0.1 K equal to 50. And you solve for K now. I subtract 14 both inside, and you're going to have 0.1 K equal to this 6, and it is 36. And lastly, you divide by 0.1 because it's bugging you. So you will have K equal to 360 kilowatt hours. Okay, almost. I think this is almost the last one. Price as a function of demand. So we have an example: ball points pen. The price demand equation for selling ballpoint pens is x equal to 160,000 minus 200,000, and where x is the number of pens demand, what can be sold at the price of $P. Okay, so what does it mean? You actually have to express the price P as the function of demand x. So if you see some question like looking for the P and oh no, let me see. Yeah, so question is just express the P in as a function of x. That means you will isolate the P alone. So let me rewrite the function. I have x equal to 160,000 minus 200,000, and I will have P here. In order to solve for P, I have to subtract both inside by 160,000. And now I will have x in the left side minus for 160,000. And that's going to be equal to negative 200,000 of P. So now I need to divide by negative 200,000 for both. And now I'm going to have P will be equal to x over negative 200,000. Okay. And a minus for 160,000 over 200,000. What is that going to be? and use a calculator, you will get 0.8. So 0.8 plus. Okay, so then this will be the answer. Okay, last page. Revenues as the function of demand. Again, so express revenue X as the function of demand. X revenue is demand time price. Okay, so don't you have to remember that revenues is demand time price, right? And X and you can get the function as X equal to X is demand time, PX is price, right? And in here, they say equal to. What does it mean? Actually, is using the information above in here, right? Oh, in here. So I have P of X equal to X over nearly 200,000 plus 0.8. And let me write down. So I have still X here, and I multiplied by X over negative 200,000 and plus 0.8. Remember that this is P of X. And if you want to distribution, you're gonna have negative of X squared over 200,000 and plus with 0.8 X. That should be the function of revenue. And the question, one more question is, what does R of 40,000 mean? You actually, let me just equal to R here, right? You actually now change the output to be 40,000, right? In here is know that it is R of X. Now they're giving you R of 40,000. So that means you have input equal to 40,000. And that's will, when you plug in to the function, you have negative of 40,000 divided by 200. You have to square it. And you plus with 0.8 and 40,000. And use a calculator to answer this. You will have 24,000. 24,000 as the answer. And that's it. I can make a conclusion for this as the revenue from the producing and selling. Oh, where this happened? So I'm gonna say the revenue as demand is 40,000 will be $24,000. So we've done this section today, and I want to see you next time.